and welcome to a very sunny September 6th. September 6th seems to be a little late to starting a September vlog considering it's been almost a week, but fact of the matter is things did not go out the way I had planned them at the beginning of this month. So I had come into September in high gear, fully expecting to do really well with my writing and getting on top of stuff. That first weekend is a long weekend here in Canada. So I had planned to, rally, get a bunch of words in, things were good. So September 1st was okay. September 2nd, I was hitting my word goals, things were going great. September 3rd, I had a dinner, so I knew I was going to be a little bit behind, but September 4th and 5th were going to be big word days. My husband was busy over those couple of days. I didn't have anything going on. This was going to happen. And then I ended up in the hospital. So not a big deal. It turned out to be a completely non-issue. I ended up having to go to emerge. I was there for like over 10 hours for a wait. Ended up coming home at like 3:30 in the morning. So needless to say, my next day was just a mess because I was totally exhausted and just figuring everything out. And then people wondering what was going on and a whole big thing. Like I said, I'm fine. Everything's fine. But I did not get any writing done. I do feel really bad because I had 10 full hours sitting in that waiting room just waiting to see somebody, but my brain was not in the right place to be writing because I did actually try. Plus, I didn't have a notebook and I also didn't have a charger, so I couldn't really sit on my phone for too long because I needed to be able to call people or let people know what was going on. So, yeah, that did not go how I expected it to, but we are back to work on Tuesday. We are going to back to words tonight, trying to move forward before the writing retreat. My writing retreat is like 8 days away. Like this time next week, I'm going to be packed and ready to go and leaving within 24 hours. So I am so ridiculously excited about that. And yeah, let's see how this week goes. Hopefully it's going to go a whole lot better than last week. But as you can tell, I did do a little comfort shopping at HomeSense and I picked up a couple little Halloween-y things. I'm sure I'm not the only person who shops the Halloween department for decor for their office, but maybe I am. So if you have some really cool Halloween finds that you keep up year-round, let me know in the comments because I'd love to hear about them. As you've seen, I do keep some Halloween-y kind of stuff around year-round. I have some skulls in my office. I have some witchy things in my office. I just have some like cool stuff. So back to work. I hope your September is going a whole lot better than mine, and we'll check in later. Hey everyone, it's September 9th and I am coming on to give a very exciting cover reveal. So I got this cover done in August and I've been holding on to it for a little while, but I did post it in my reader group today, so I'm going to be sharing it with you very shortly. However, I'm going to give you a little bit of an update of where I am and how things have been going. So this week has been kind of busy, hockey tryouts, first week of school, all that kind of stuff, but I've definitely been hitting my word goals, maybe not every single day, but I've been putting in words every single day, which makes me feel really good. Not that you have to write every day. It's just I'm in a space right now where I don't have any days booked off. It's just that I can write every day. So that's been very, very exciting. And actually by tomorrow, assuming that I keep plugging forward, I should have written more words by the 10th of September than I did in the entire month of August on both of my writing projects. So that is a huge accomplishment and makes me feel so good because I've had so many months of like writing drought and it finally feels like that water is just running and things are going really well. The things that are working in my favor obviously are higher word count goals because I do the mountain hike with Pacemaker, so it just kind of increases and I've had larger goals and I've actually been hitting them, which makes a huge difference, as well as I'm sure you've heard the adage, the more you write, the more you can write. So my word sprints are producing more words as I get deeper into the story and as I'm being more consistent with my writing and staying in the story more often. So the word sprints that I'm doing have much higher word counts, sometimes double what I had been doing a couple of weeks ago. Some of them still suck. Usually the first one or two of the day might not be great. Sometimes that first one isn't even hitting my low average, but by the end of the day, it starts to rally and I start to get those words done a little bit faster than I was doing a few weeks ago because I don't need nearly as many sprints to start hitting those goals. The other thing that seems to be working in my favor is one of the things about using Pacemaker has kind of taught me about losing some of that all or nothing mentality that I have. Some of the stuff that I play weird mind games with myself. You know, if you have a 1,000-word goal and then all of a sudden you are not hitting it, then there's part of my brain goes, oh, well, now I have to do 2,000 words tomorrow to catch up. And then that feels overwhelming. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, now I need to do 3,000 words because I didn't write the next day. So using Pacemaker has helped smooth that out a little bit. It does the math for me, and it's going, no, you don't have to write 2,000 words tomorrow. Maybe you need to write an additional 10 words or 20 words or 30 words, depending on where you are kind of in that goal cycle that you are working on. So that has definitely helped. And the other thing is also, it's kind of taught me of not just giving up if things seem overwhelming. So for instance, if I have a day where I have a 1,000-word goal and I have a headache, or I have to help my kids with homework, or I have to run errands, or I'm just done at the end of the day, I have a tendency of being like, okay, I only have a half an hour before bed or 15 minutes before bed where I'm completely functioning, and I'm not going to hit 1,000 words, so I might as well even try. Well, by putting stuff in Pacemaker, I've kind of gotten to the, well, if I sit down and do it and I write 300 words or I write 500 words, then even though I still didn't hit my 1,000-word goal, it's not going to add as many words for me tomorrow. And it's not going to add as many words for me next week and further down the line. So I've been finding that I've been able to motivate myself to write even when I know there's no chance of me hitting my goal, but knowing that those words are at least going to move me forward. I know this is intuitive. That's how math works. If you do more words, you're going to have less words to write. But the mental game that I kind of trick myself with has been, if I can't do it, I just get discouraged and then I don't want to write anything. This process has been really helpful in the sense that I've just been, okay, I'm going to write what I can. And if I can't hit it, then that's okay. And I'm going to focus on tomorrow's goal, which is probably going to be a few words higher, but it's going to be all right. And I'm going to keep moving forward and things are going to be awesome. So that has definitely been helpful within this process. So I'm hoping that that's positivity and all of that productivity that's coming from that positivity is going to carry me through to the end of this project. And I'm really, really excited to see where it ends up. I'm getting a little bit nervous because I'm hitting some parts soon that I don't totally have fleshed out or plotted. And that's kind of where I tend to get stuck and then get into those bad cycles of not writing or just getting really frustrated with my word counts and then getting down on the project in general. So I'm hoping by the time I get there, things have started to piece together in my head, and I will be seeing my writing friends next week. So I will definitely be able to spitball some ideas with them and hopefully keep me moving forward and get through this relatively unscathed. But I'm sure the thing that you want to check out is the new cover reveal. So a while back, I did a hardcover version of Sleepless with the dust jacket. I don't know if you remember that. I will show the cover here. And basically why I did that is it was just kind of an experiment, and I wanted to create a cover that was kind of like that icon cover and use the dust jacketed hardcover edition that kind of appeals to a different audience. And it didn't have that people-y kind of cover that you see a lot with indie or self-published books. I still love that cover, and I'm not going to be changing my paperback covers. I love them, but it was just something that was a little bit different and provides a different option. I considered doing it for Keeper of Shadows, but I never actually did get around to it. And I was talking with a friend about covers recently, and I just kind of got excited about it again and decided that for the 3-year anniversary of this book that I would do a hardcover. So if you remember, I've actually changed the paperback cover for this book once already because it wasn't necessarily hitting the genre. And I love my paperback cover. I'm not changing my paperback cover, but this hardcover, oh my God, it's beautiful. I just love it. So I actually went back to Get Covers again. Get Covers is a company that they make covers, and they are associated with Mibble Art, and Mibble Art is kind of like their senior artist and Get Covers is their junior artist. So Get Covers is a little bit more affordable. So if you're doing things where, you know, you're just experimenting like I am, I don't necessarily need to do a hardcover. So that's making things a little bit more affordable for me. Plus, they've also done the cover for my reader magnet. So I'm giving that away for free. So it was nice to be able to get a cover, you know, that I'm not spending $500 or $600 on just to give away for a like flash fiction story that's like 1,000 words. So it kind of made sense for me. And if you are interested in Get Covers, I will let you know that I am affiliated with Get Covers. I do have an affiliate link that I will include in the comments below. And if you are interested in getting a cover with Get Covers and you use my affiliate link,
you will get 10% off your purchase. So if that is something you want to give it a try, you can definitely use that link and you can get 10% off your purchase. And hopefully you will love them as much as I do. They are junior artists, so sometimes I do find that I need to go back a couple of times with making changes or, bringing up things that don't necessarily work for me, but they're usually very, very good about that. And they do offer unlimited changes. So if you do have some back and forth, you kind of are paying with that time as opposed to paying up with dollars. And if you were just getting started as an author or you have very simple covers that you're going with, then this might be a really, really great option for you that's going to be very cost effective. Anyways, without further ado, here is the new cover for the hardcover for Keeper of Shadows, and I just love it. The colors obviously are set up to match the cover colors with the paperback. So if you've seen the paperback before, I will put the paperback right here. And you can see it's kind of got those teals and dark blues and all that kind of stuff together. I love this cover because it does have the hourglass in it. So if you've actually read the story, there is an hourglass in the story. It totally makes sense. And the flowers are just beautiful. It takes place in that late spring, early summer around graduation. So the flowers, and it does have a very strong romance to it. So I just think it's absolutely beautiful, and I'm so excited to have it in my hot little hands. I have ordered proofs from Ingram for this already. However, I did ship them to a friend in the States, and I will be picking it up from her next week when I go on my writing retreats. So yeah, I am super pumped about that. I am actually sitting on another cover that I would like to show you guys, but it is for a book that I do not have my rights back to. So I'm going to wait until that's a little bit further in the process. I'm not sure how long that's going to take. So it might not be this month. It might be a few months down the road, but I'm so pumped about that one as well. I did use a different artist for that one, but obviously I was going for something a little bit different. So I can't wait to show you that cover. I also have other covers on projects that I've been working on. So you can definitely stay tuned to my channel and I will have more of them as they come up. But hopefully you like this one. I love this one. I think it's great. And I'm going to get back to writing. Hey everyone, it's September 12th and I am working on packing for my writing retreat because I'm going to be leaving in less than 2 days. So I'm very, very excited, and I just have some things to do tomorrow night. So I want to make sure that I get most of the stuff done today. I'm already pretty much ready, set to go. I have most of the stuff been on a list for a while. So I have been working on packing that kind of stuff. The things I'm generally bringing with me, a lot of that stuff's on my computer, so making sure I have a charger is very important, as well as I bought very large pieces of like easel paper so we can write our goals down, and some people like to use it to like track their word counts as well. So I brought that paper because I'm the one driving, so it makes sense for somebody driving to bring the paper. I also have this cute little accordion file from Erin Condren that I got, and it's got all of my markers in here. It has all of my pens and Post-it notes. And one of the other things that I'm doing that I haven't really done before is I'm trying to work with scene cards. And there were some videos on the Sarah Cannon Heart Breathings channel on how she uses scene cards. And I thought it was kind of interesting because I basically kind of do something very similar, but I usually do it like in Excel or Google Sheets. So this way it was something that was a little bit more tangible, and I really like how she discussed kind of like filling in the gaps when it comes to writing her story. So I know that one of the things I'm going to be doing this weekend is trying to get the plot for Fierce nailed down, and so I thought this might be a good way to do that, is to put it out on cards so I can kind of shuffle with it a little bit. Who knows if it's going to work or not, but for the like $2 I spent at the dollar store to get all of these cards, I'm not going to worry about it, but I'm going to bring them with me and the hole punch and everything for that as well. Plus, I just have a little bit of swag. I have some orders from some of my readers, some signed orders that I do want to send out for people that are in the States because it is cheaper to ship things in the States as well. So I definitely have some of those books in here that they had ordered. I have some tarot cards as well because it's always fun to do a tarot reading for yourself before you start like a big weekend of writing or something exciting. So that'll be really fun. Plus, I also have some Canadian goodies that I'm going to be bringing to my friends. I just found out recently that cream soda in the US is not pink, so I'm going to be bringing some pink cream soda as well as some Canadian Smarties and some
Aero bars, which I don't believe they have either, or coffee crisp and all those sorts of things, as well as some ketchup chips and some all-dressed chips. So if you like those Canadian favorites, let me know in the comments. If you've never heard of pink cream soda and you aren't from Canada, let me know in the comments too. I just found out that this was a thing and not everybody's cream soda is pink, so that was pretty exciting for me. I'm also bringing my Margaritaville as well. We are doing a practical magic themed evening with midnight margaritas on Friday night. So that should be super fun, and I'm really looking forward to that as well. So I'm gonna get packing. I've got a lot of notebooks and all that sort of stuff that needs to go into bags, so I'm gonna work on that. And yeah, I will see you all shortly. I might not be including a lot here about the writing retreat itself, or I don't know how much footage I'm going to get. So if I get enough footage to do its own writing retreat vlog, then I will do that, and I will just put some snippets in here. But if you are hoping to see that and it's not here, I probably would have released it already, so check my channel and check out that video. But yeah, here's hoping I get more writing done than filming, but I guess we'll see. It is September 21st. It is a Wednesday, and I just got back from my writing retreat on Sunday. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, you should check out my writing retreat video that I did if you want to see some footage from that. I did have enough to put a video together. However, I would have liked to have done more, but it is a little bit weird when you're with other people, and it's one thing for me to put a camera in my face all the time, but it's another to be doing that to other people who don't regularly have cameras in their faces, and whether or not they're going to like that, or if you catch a bad side of them or whatever. So that did limit me in the things that I could film. Plus, I also found that while I was there, I wasn't really sure what people would want to see in a writing retreat video. Part of that, a large chunk of that, is just writing. So there's only so many video clips of me typing that you can really watch. So if there is something that you would like to see from my next writing retreat, I'm not exactly sure when it's going to happen. I'm hoping maybe within the next 6 months or so, but when I do my next writing retreat, what are the kinds of things that you would like to see in a writing retreat vlog that would provide value for you, or you would just find entertaining? If you can leave that in the comments, that would be great. And next time I am doing a writing retreat, I will make sure to think about those things and try and set that stuff up ahead of time. The other problem I had was, obviously, when you go out for a writing retreat, you are focused on doing the writing and doing all the things and spending that time with your friends and your writer besties. So I wanted to do that, and oftentimes I would forget to film things, but hopefully you guys found it entertaining, and if not, I will try to do better next time. Anyhow, for the retreat, it was just great. I did not get as many words in as I had hoped, but I did have a really lofty goal for that, so that's okay. And part of that was just being stuck on my manuscript. So I am actually rejigging my plans a little bit. I did have a goal in mind of when I was going to be finished the manuscript that I'm currently working on, but I've now extended that goal out to include the amount of time I had expected to write Fierce, because I'm finding that when I get stuck, because I have been very adamantly tracking my writing over the last few months, I've noticed that when I get stuck on something, I will find other reasons to do anything but write. So there are several periods where I will have several X's on my calendar of days that I didn't write, and I could always find another excuse, such as I need to get ready for my writing retreat, etc., and would convince myself that I didn't need to do that writing, because in this case, I said I would make it up at the writing retreat. But the fact of the matter is, I didn't, because by the time I got there, I was still stuck. So I was still plodding along. And although I did write a lot of words, it wasn't enough that I wrote what I needed for the day, plus the almost entire week that I didn't really write too much before that. So if I keep writing consistently and keep moving forward, I'm going to do a lot better than if I just have these really long jags where I don't write. So
as I had done earlier this year, and it does seem to really work for me to work within 2 projects, but it's really hard to flip into another project when you have word count goals on this one. So what I did is I actually took both projects, how many words that I had left for both of those projects, and then added it all up, put it into Pacemaker as a total, and then extended my deadline out until when I expected that second manuscript to be done. So that way I can flip back and forth. If I'm frustrated with one, I can still get words in the other, and it's not really putting me behind because I'm still meeting those Pacemaker goals. I'm still moving forward, and if I follow the process, I'm still going to finish when I wanted to be finished. So that is working out really, really well. Plus, both books have the same romance trope in it. So I'm writing friends to lovers in both books. However, it's kind of neat with the juxtaposition, because in one book, the POV main character is the one who develops feelings first and is trying to tell that other person and driving the story that way. Whereas the other book, the non-POV love interest is the one who catches feelings first. So my main character is kind of oblivious and is just figuring it out as the story goes along. So it's kind of neat when I'm working on one scene where they're on the receiving end of that affection, and then having to solve problems when they are on the, I guess, giving end of that affection. So it does kind of help balance those things out, and it does help me solve some sort of problems. So I'm hoping that this experiment will work out really well, and then I will move forward. Obviously, if I'm in the zone with one project, then I'm probably going to focus on that one for a while, but it gives me the flexibility to switch out of it if I'm struggling or if I'm stuck or something like that. So the other thing that probably brings up is the fact that, yes, I am going to be finishing Fierce. If you've been following my vlogs, I wasn't really sure about Fierce. And on my writing retreat, I sat down and I told all of my friends the story. And I had written down all the things that I had problems with and that I was really struggling with. And I laid it all out, and they're like, okay, so that's a full story. What's your problem? And so that was really positive. And then I brought up the points that I was struggling with, and some of them, they either talked me down from that because I got in my own head, or helped me find some solutions to fix that so that I was okay with the results. So I'm really happy that I have that all sorted out now. So I know that I'm going to be moving forward. They're like, this is awesome. You should really write this story. Just, get in there, get it done. It's going to be great. Just get out of your own head. So that's very exciting. They actually poked way more holes into the manuscript that I am working on, that I come into the writing retreat with. So I definitely have some work on that one to do, and it has kind of got me a little bit stuck, but I do want to keep moving forward. I do have this positive momentum of writing. I've been writing more in September than I had in August. I wrote more in August than I did in July. So it's definitely going forward, and I'm really looking forward to that. I also got some really fun stuff while I was away. So I have the hard copy of Keeper of Shadows, and it's so pretty, guys. Do you want to see it? So here it is. Here is the hard copy of Keeper of Shadows, and it's so pretty. Just very simple in the back, and then it's got the beautiful author photo in color, which is nice, and my press logo and all that kind of fun stuff. And also the book itself matches with the dark, and it's got those really cute flowers and stuff on it, and I really, really love that. So I am super excited how this turned out. I'm so pleased with it, and I cannot wait to get this up for other people to check out or purchase. Yeah, it's so very exciting. The other thing that I have, but I can't show you yet, is I have the proof copies of Wicked Descent. I do not have my rights back for this book yet, so I cannot sell it. I cannot do anything with it, but I do have just a proof copy for me to be able to go through and make sure everything is exactly how I want it. So that way, when that does happen and I do get my rights back and I can put it back out, then everything is going to be ready to go, and I will be set up and can move forward. So I did get some copies. It's so pretty. They are from Ingram. I'll show you the back, but I can't really show you the front, but the front is just absolutely so beautiful. I worked with 2 different artists for this. I worked with Molly Phipps from We Got You Covered, and they just do a phenomenal job. She's just so great and so easy to work with. And actually, Keeper of Shadows was one that I did with Get covers. But yeah, so the retreat was good. I am recuperating and I am trying to get those words in. I have been on point for my Pacemaker goals ever since I returned, and I'm hoping that momentum leads into the next month. We are getting really deep into spooky season, so getting back into Fierce will be nice because it does have a bit of a spooky vibe to it, and we'll see how that goes. Hey everyone, it's September 26th and I am hanging out outside enjoying some sunshine. It is a very nice fall day, a little bit cool but very sunny, so you kind of still get to sit out there in your nice cozy sweaters. Anyways, this weekend I spent planning, so it is almost time for the end of the quarter, and if you've been following along for a while, you know that I do the HB90 system, or at least tenets of it, and I do 90-day quarterly planning. So I kind of scrapped it a little while ago when I was going through some personal stuff because it was just overwhelming. So I took all my post-it notes, I threw them away, and I'm now back in the position where, you know, writing is coming, things are coming up. I have a lot of stuff coming up in the last quarter. I did write a contemporary holiday romance, so it is time to shine in November and December for that book. It's also almost Halloween, and writing paranormal kind of is that kind of season as well as I showed you guys the hardcover copy of Keeper of Shadows, so I'm going to need to launch that and let people know that that's available. And I usually do a Black Friday paperback sale, so lots of stuff going on over the next couple of months. I also am just trying to get a hold of everything. It is tryout season here, so both my boys are trying out for their respective hockey teams, and it's always very stressful for me because, you know, I want them to make the teams that they want to make. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. How do you deal with their little broken hearts when they don't get exactly what they want? And if they do get what they want, how much is it going to cost, and how many days a week am I going to be at the rink? So it's just sorting that part of my life out, but it's starting to come to an end now, so it just feels like the right time, plus it's the end of the quarter, to get all that planning and everything ready to go. So this time I decided to do things a little bit differently. Instead of doing all of those post-it notes and have my inner Lorax cry every single quarter, I am actually using my whiteboard with whiteboard markers. So I wrote everything in, each of my goals is in a different color, and I just wrote them on the whiteboard. And it was really nice because I could do things very, very granularly. So for my writing, I can put every 1,000 words, which I was kind of doing anyway, but it's not a post-it note for every single one. If I want to do stuff for social media, I can put every single day on there, and it doesn't feel like I have this overwhelming amount of post-it notes. It's still the same amount of work, so it may or may not have any difference than how I was using it before, but I'm still trying to figure out how I want to play that out. A normal Kanban board has a working on, like, tasks to do, currently working on, and completed section, and you either go right to left, up or down, however you want to do it. So normally I go vertical, so I usually have the things that I'm working on, the things that I need to complete, or I'm kind of completing in the middle, and the stuff that I've finished on the bottom. So I don't know if I'm going to continue that with the whiteboard marker thing, if I'm just going to like erase it, write it back in, and write it on the bottom, or if I'm just going to stroke them out like a to-do list on the top. So we'll see how that plays out, and if that's the case, then maybe I will get rid of some of those sections and just open up my whiteboard as a big to-do list, so I can still see everything I've accomplished at the end of the month, but at the same time I'm not using all of those post-it notes. So we'll see how it plays out. I don't know if it's going to work or not, and maybe going back to the Kanban system isn't going to necessarily work for me. However, we're going to give it a shot. So I don't know how your fall is going, but we're almost at the end of the month, which is absolutely crazy. And I've got some writing to do, so I'm going to get back to that. And hopefully you guys are having a good month so far. But I would really like to know, how do you plan your time? Do you plan by quarters? Do you plan by weeks? Do you plan by months? Are there certain tips or keys or anything you use to get through that time? I created a bunch of checklists actually recently for some of the stuff that I do on a weekly basis. So hopefully I can use those to keep the momentum going forward, but we'll have to see how that plays out. So let me know how you do it. Hey everyone, it is September 29th and I cannot believe how fast this month has gone. This vlog is going to go up in just a couple of hours. I know that September does extend till the 30th, but I figured I would get this out sooner than later so we can get into October and the crux of spooky season, which is one of my favorite times of year. So this month has been super busy, but I got a lot of writing done. I got a lot of other projects done. So this is really exciting for me to feel productive again, which is absolutely fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to October, hopefully keeping up this momentum. In terms of words, I'm about 800 words short of my goal for the month, and that's on top of
doing my goal for today and my goal for tomorrow. So it is quite possible that I may not hit exactly where I wanted to be for the end of September, but the fact of the matter is 800 words is not that bad. And it is actually a statutory holiday here tomorrow, so there is a possibility that I may get a few more words than I had anticipated based on my actual goals. So I'm hoping that I'm going to rally and that maybe I can squeak out of September exactly on point. But even if I don't, I'm going to take that as a win. It's less than 1,000 words. I can totally do this. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing well with your writing projects or any other projects that you're working on, and I look forward to seeing you guys in October. But for now, I am going to sign off. I am going to get to my day job, and then I'm going to get to writing. So see you guys later. I hope you have a great fall.